Our next speaker, Mr. B. Krishnakumar, has been tracking and trading stock markets for over 15 years. He has worked with the Hindu Business Line newspaper, the Dow Jones Newswire, and FundsIndia.com before joining Definesh.
Hello everyone. So now we have Mr. B. Krishnakumar with us. We only call him KK. So although he is part of Defineage, he is very experienced professional and a trader. So there are so many things to learn from him. So hello KK. It is great to have you in eDECMA. So before we discuss today's subject, it would be nice if you can briefly tell us about your journey in the markets and your overall experience so far.
Hi Prashant, nice to be part of this event. Yeah, so I started off my career as analyst. So I worked for the Hindu Business Line newspaper for almost 14-15 years, where I was writing weekly columns for them based on fundamental analysis, and then I got into technical analysis. And what started off as a 500-800 word article every week, by the time I left Business Line, I was writing for a full page and a half. So that would be in number of words terms, it will be close to 5,000 odd words week after week. So it used to be on market view and reader queries and all that stuff. So after that, I worked for a few brokerage houses, and then I joined Dow Jones Newswires, which is part of the Wall Street Journal. So again, I was there with them as an analyst, and then for the last 5-6 years, I've been full-time into markets. And of course, that's when I got associated with Defineage Solutions as well. So I've been a full-time trader for the last maybe say 5-6 years or so. So and before that, I was primarily an analyst, and it took quite a while for me to get rid of that analyst mindset and get into the trader mindset. It's a tough thing actually.
Yeah, that's very interesting thing. So you have seen a business side of it. You also know about research side, and then you have traded markets also. And I know that you conduct webinar every Friday, so you interact with a lot of traders through these webinars and education. So you know about how a lot of traders would think how they trade the markets and the different techniques. You worked on so many techniques. So you said a very interesting thing, that's a transition from research to trading. I mean, that's a difficult thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, if for example a research analyst is having a view, how is it different from trading perspective? How a trader would think?
See, if you're being paid to give your view on the markets, right? Then as long as you are right about your market view, you get paid and you are a successful analyst. But that view can probably play out maybe in a week. It can probably take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or maybe it can take several months, right? It depends. We really don't have any clue about how long it will take for a particular view to play out. And human mind is such that a lot of times the patterns and our views, it happens in fast forward mode. But when you are trading, right, you would be right about your view, but you wouldn't be left with enough capital to make profit out of that view. What I mean by that is because of the inherent bias involved in analysis, we will probably be at least 2-3 steps ahead in terms of executing the trade, and you'll end up probably losing your money consistently. And by the time your view and the actual event plays out, you will probably not be physically or psychologically or even financially quite up there in terms of capitalizing on that particular convergence. I don't know if I have made my point clear. Just like Alan Greenspan, Fed chairman way back in the 90s, he said that markets are overvalued, and irrational exuberance is the phrase that he used, and it was so very popular. And it took almost 1.5-2 years after he made that statement for the event to play out. So by that time, there was so much of time to go long and make money. But if you were short when he made that statement, maybe you would have probably lost quite a bit of money in the interim.
All right, so we'll discuss more about that. So what are we going to discuss today? Swing patterns.
Yeah, so basically we will be discussing something called a pattern counter, which is an interesting feature that's available in the TradePoint software. But before that, I think it would be helpful if we talk a little bit about point and figure charting method, because the pattern counter, it uses the point and figure charting method. So for people who are uninitiated, maybe a little bit of intro to point and figure charting basics would be helpful, I thought.
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
So let me just pull up my Define Edge, my TradePoint terminal, and open a point and figure chart, right? So let's probably take Nifty 50. So as you know, point and figure chart, it is a one-dimensional chart where the x-axis does not take into account the time element. We are only worried about the price, and in any point and figure chart, you will see alternating columns of X and O. So you will never see two columns of X or two columns of O adjacent to each other. So it will always be a column of X, then O, then X, then O. It keeps alternating. And a column of X represents a rising prices. So if the price is moving up, we capture the price action through this column of X. And if there is a reversal, once the reversal criteria is met, then we flip over and capture the fall in price using the column of O. So this column of O represents the price action of several days. It need not necessarily represent a price action of a single day or a single session. So we are using the daily data here to plot the Nifty 50 chart. So here, if you notice, this column of O captures the price action from February 18th to February 22nd. So what is important to understand is every column of X or O in a point and figure chart, it represents a swing move. It need not necessarily capture a single day or single session's price action. So that is the brief intro about point and figure chart. And of course, the basic signal in terms of buy sell is the swing breakout. So here, if you notice, this is the high of the column of X. So this column of X, if you notice, it registered a breakout above the high of the previous column of X. So at this level, if you notice, we had a breakout. This simple breakout is called as a double top buy signal. Similarly, here, if you notice, you see that red horizontal line there. So this column of O, it broke down below the low of the immediately preceding column of O. So we call this breakdown as a basic double bottom sell signal. So this would probably be a very brief intro or a primer to point and figure charting. And of course, if you go to the DefenEdge YouTube channel, there is a lot of material available on the basics of how to construct a point and figure chart and the other nuances associated with it.
So even if, let's suppose we are not trading point and figure charts, just for the basic understanding, this could be charts representing or showing swings. I mean, a particular column of X is showing upswing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, so if I say, yeah, sorry.
So this column of X captures a swing move wherein the price rallied from the low of 13,670 odd, and it rallied up to 15,300 odd points, and it represents the price action of 15 calendar days. So the low of that particular swing move started on February 1st and it ended on February 15th.
Yes, so that column shows us a complete swing on that particular period. So even if and when I'm looking at a column, it tells me that price was in uptrend during this period minus time.
Right. Yeah. So here, if you notice that more recently, price has basically been consolidating. Everyone is aware of that, I presume, right? People who are in the markets, they know that after this big rally, since the start of this month, price has been consolidating. So you see those relatively shorter columns of X and O getting printed, which basically tells you that price is in a broad consolidation. So if this column of X gets taller and breaks out above the previous column of X, then we will get a fresh buy signal. Or on the contrary, if there is a further fall in price going forward, and if the low of this column of O is broken, then we will get a double bottom sell signal.
Correct.
So shall we get started with the main presentation? Hope this intro is good enough.
Yes.
Okay. So before we get there, so the feature that we would be talking today is available under the scanner section. Under scanner, you have something called smart scanners, and within smart scanner, the fourth item from the bottom, if you notice, there is something called pattern counter, right? So you will have to choose a particular group here. I'm just choosing Nifty 500 for this presentation. Okay, and you can choose the box size that you want. So I'm choosing the default box size as 0.25, and once I hit the scan button, for every stock or instrument that is part of the chosen universe, you will see 3 different scores that are getting generated. One is the strength score, then you have the range score and the trend ratio, and you have something called the price pattern. So we will briefly discuss how these scores are calculated and how these pattern names are assigned. Once we get an understanding of these 4 elements, then we can talk about how to use this table to identify trading candidates for swing trading. So as I told you, pattern counter is a feature that's unique and it's available only in the TradePoint software. And based on the number of boxes that are printed in the last 4 columns in the point and figure chart, as I told you, 3 different scores are generated. And of course, I also told you that in a point and figure chart, the columns of X and O alternate, right? So we have broadly already covered these things. So let us talk about the strength score. What is the logic and how it is calculated? So the main thing that you'll have to remember in this pattern counter feature is that we are always using the last 4 columns in the point and figure chart to arrive at and calculate the scores. So this is this is column number 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the scores, all the calculation patterns, everything is based on the last 4 columns. And because of the nature of point and figure chart that I told you, that the columns of X and O alternate. So when we are looking at the last 4 columns in any given chart, you will definitely have 2 columns of X and 2 columns of O in the last 4 columns. That should be very simple to understand, I presume. So now let us discuss how the strength score is calculated. Strength score is nothing but in the last 4 columns, you count the number of boxes printed in the column of X and subtract it from the total number of boxes that is printed in the 2 columns of O. So as I told you, we are looking at the last 4 columns, out of which 2 columns will be column of X and 2 columns will be column of O. So we are just trying to find the difference between the total number of X minus total number of O. So in this example, if you notice, we have 7 boxes in the last column. In the penultimate column, you have 4 boxes, that is column of O. And in the third column from the right, you have 6 boxes. And in the fourth column from the right, you have 11 boxes. So our strength score will be 7 plus 6, that is total number of X that is printed, that is 13, and minus total number of O that is printed, which is 11 plus 4, 15. So 13 minus 15 will be minus 2. So the strength score is a negative number minus 2. So this number gives you a lot of insights and information about what is happening in the market, especially using the last 4 columns of the point and figure chart. And the last 4 columns capture the last 4 swing moves in a point and figure chart, right? So if the score is a negative number, it basically means that more number of O is getting printed compared to X. So if more number of O is getting printed, obviously it is a sign that there is some amount of selling pressure out there, isn't it? If you recall, a column of O represents falling prices and column of X represents rising price. So if the number of boxes in column of O is more, it obviously tells you that there is a background selling pressure, or maybe the bearish camp is slightly dominant compared to the bullish camp. So this is how you basically calculate the strength score. Let us move on to the range score. Range score is pretty straightforward. You are just adding up the total number of boxes that is printed in the last 4 columns. We are not making any distinction between column of X and column of O as far as the range score is considered. So in this example, the range score will be 11 plus 6 plus 4 plus 7. So totally there are 28 boxes printed in the last 4 columns. So this is fairly straightforward compared to the strength score. And of course, using the strength and the range score, we calculate something called the trend ratio. So trend ratio is nothing but the strength score divided by the range score. So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to assess if the bullish side is dominant or the bearish side is dominant, and then we are comparing that net, what shall I say, the net result between the bullish and the bearish forces. We are comparing it with the total number of boxes that is getting printed, and we are capturing that ratio in percentage terms. So the trend ratio is nothing but strength score divided by range score into 100. So in this example, if you recall, the strength score was a -2 and the range score is 28. So your trend ratio will be -7.14. So this is just a screenshot of the output from the TradePoint software, which gives you all those relevant information. So before we take a look at the output, let us also try to understand the 4th element in this feature, which is called the price pattern. So we have discussed the 3 different scores that is used in the pattern counter feature. The other important element of pattern counter is the patterns itself. So there are 5 different patterns that we will be talking about. So on the bullish side, you have a bullish breakout and bullish retracement, and on the bearish side, you have a bearish breakout and bearish retracement, and anything else will be classified as consolidation. So let us try to visually understand how these patterns are identified and how the names are assigned. So we will talk about the 5 different patterns that is commonly talked about in the pattern counter feature. So the first pattern is a bullish breakout pattern, wherein twin conditions needs to be satisfied. The last column should be a column of X, and there should be a swing breakout. So we call this a double top buy, if you recall. So when these two conditions are satisfied, wherein there is a swing breakout and we are in a column of X, which indicates that the price is moving up, then this pattern is called as a bullish breakout pattern. So this is the best possible bullish configuration that we can think about in a point and figure chart. The next possibility is the bullish retracement, wherein we had a swing breakout, but currently price is in a retracement. So we are in a column of O. So this is still a bullish configuration, but it is not as bullish as the previous slide, the bullish breakout pattern. So the next pattern that we have is the bullish retracement, wherein a breakout has happened, bullish breakout, but we are currently in a retracement or a pullback, which is indicated by this column of O. So these are the two bullish pattern possibilities. We will talk about the bearish patterns also. So it is just the ulta of the bullish patterns. So the most bearish configuration is a sell signal or swing breakdown, and price is in a column of O. So when these two conditions are satisfied, we call this pattern as a bearish breakout pattern. And the other pattern that you might have guessed is the bearish retracement, wherein there is a swing breakdown, but currently price is retracing. So we call this pattern as a bearish retracement pattern, wherein price is currently in a column of X, but the undertone is still bearish. So any other combination other than these two patterns, they will broadly fit into the consolidation pattern. So the fifth pattern that we are talking about is a consolidation pattern, wherein you neither can see a swing breakout or a swing breakdown. So price is just broadly consolidating in a tight range. So these are the 5 different patterns that we will be encountering in the pattern counter feature.
So these 5 patterns, So these are the 5 patterns. If I look at any swing chart, these are the only 5 possibilities. If you want to define a pattern on any swing chart, I think these are the only possibilities, right?
Yeah, I can open any instrument, and if you look at the last 4 columns, I can easily classify this chart into one of the 5 patterns that we talked about.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So here in this case, this will probably come across as a consolidation pattern, right? Because if you notice, in the last 4 columns, price is broadly consolidating. You neither have a clear breakout or a breakdown.
Yes.
On the contrary, if you go to different box size or a different time frame, you could obviously, you will definitely see a different pattern playing out there, right? So here, if you notice, this will come across as a bullish retracement, wherein if you notice, this is the second pattern that we talked about in the slide. You had a breakout and price is currently retracing. So this will be classified as a bullish retracement. And of course, if we look at a even bigger time frame, here if you notice, this will be your bullish breakout. So column number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So price is in a column of X and a breakout has happened. So this pattern will be a bullish breakout pattern.
Yes. So idea is, even if it is not about, it is about price. It is not on price. Point and figure is just a tool. So on any given swing chart, when we look at the price pattern, it fits into one of these 5 possibilities, right?
Yeah, that's right. So any time frame, any box size, any instrument, you open any chart, you can easily identify the pattern fitting into one of the 5 possibilities that we discussed.
Correct. And so a couple of more things. See, we did, these are the price patterns which one can define on for any instrument. There are 3 other things that you discussed: range score, strength score, and trend ratio. So in last 4 swings, so basically last 4 price swings which we look at, how do we define the strength of that particular swing is by calculating the number of boxes in that particular swing.
Yep.
Right. So when we say range score, that means we are looking at the number of boxes in last 4 swings.
Yeah.
So when we
when
see
we look
high
at a few
range,
examples, it will be very clear, Prashant. When we
correct.
look at the final output and
Yeah.
look at a few chart examples with the scores, all those confusion might be resolved, I presume.
Yes.
So are we clear about the 3 different scoring options and the 5 different patterns? If that is clear, then we can take a look at some live examples.
Yes, we will look at live example, but that because a bit deep understanding is required of those columns, because see, when we say now it is clear that how do we calculate range, but what does it mean if we say, okay, irrespective of trend, a particular stock is having high range over last 4 swings? So can we say it means the stock is either more volatile or it is in a strong trend because there are more number of boxes in last 4 swings?
Just by looking at the total number of boxes in the last 4 columns, we cannot immediately jump to the conclusion about trend or volatility component there. Obviously, that's where your strength score and the trend ratio comes into play. So when you look at the 3 scores in context, you'll get a broad idea about whether the price is in a consolidation, or if the volatility component is high, or if the trend component is high. So when we look at a few of the examples, I'm sure most of the confusion will be sorted out.
Sure.
So let us just pull up the Excel sheet. So what I have done here is I've just exported. So as I told you, if you go to scanner, smart scanner, and go to pattern counter, and let us probably just take Nifty 50 as a case study, right? Let us run this pattern counter feature and try to understand or try to interpret or make sense of these scores. So here, if you notice, let us take probably any stock that you like, or let me just sort it in. So let us take a look at some bullish breakout examples, right? So you have Hindustan Unilever here. So if you look at the strength score, it is 22. And if you look at the range score, it is 36. So without even looking at the chart, I know that this is a very, very bullish chart. How do I know that? Because there are totally 36 boxes that is printed in the last 4 columns. And out of these 36 boxes, 22 of them are boxes of X. And if you look at the trend score, which is nothing but 22 divided by 36 into 100, it is 61%. So majority of the prints out of this 36 is bullish prints or column of X. And the range score is also a healthy number here, 36, right? And the pattern is a bullish breakout. So without even looking at the chart, I can get a mental image about how this chart will look like. I can visualize the column of X being very tall or very lengthy compared to the column of O. So let me just open up this chart. So here, if you notice, as I told you, we are looking at the last 4 columns. So this is column number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you notice, the column of O is relatively small. But if you look at the bullish swings, which is captured by the column of X, they are relatively bigger. More number of X is getting printed compared to the boxes in the column of O. So obviously the undertone is bullish here. And how bullish is it? If you look at the trend ratio, you get that answer there. So it is 61%. So majority of the prints out of this 36 are bullish prints, and the pattern is a bullish breakout. So without even looking at the chart, I'm getting a wealth of information about this particular instrument here. So if I look at maybe something else, let us probably just take a look at another example here. This is, if you notice, the pattern here is bullish breakout, right? And the pattern in Hindustan Lever is also bullish breakout. But you see the distinction between these two instruments in terms of the trend ratio here. Can you see that negative number there?
Yes.
Minus 5.56. So
Yes.
what can you interpret there, Prashant? Can you make some sense out of this number, how the chart will look like?
Yeah,
So the pattern
range
obviously is a bullish pattern. We have a swing breakout. That is very apparent. But what is the intelligence that you gather from the strength score, range score, and the trend ratio?
So a number of X and O's are almost equal.
Yeah, which is why you have a very small negative number as your trend ratio.
Yeah.
And it is a negative number, which basically means that the X and O are sort of evenly matched, and O is slightly more than X, which is why we have that negative number. But the negative number is very marginal, so there is sort of a tussle between the bullish and the bearish camp. But pattern wise, it is a bullish breakout, which basically means we have a bullish swing breakout that has happened. So let us take a look at the chart. So if you notice, we are looking at the last four columns here. So the columns of X and the columns of O, if you notice that the number of boxes, it is evenly matched, which is what is captured by the numbers in that table there. And the pattern is a bullish breakout, which basically means a buy signal has been triggered in the point and figure chart. So let us take a look at the other extreme, where we are talking about a bearish breakout. Let us probably take a look at something like Coal India, right? It is a bearish pattern. It is a bearish breakout. Pattern-wise, things are bearish. And if you look at it, this is just the other extreme compared to Hindustan Unilever. So if you recall, Hindustan Unilever was an extremely bullish case scenario where the trend ratio was a positive number, 61 point something, and the pattern was a bullish breakout. The other extreme that we are looking at now is Coal India, where if you notice, the pattern is a bearish pattern, which is a bearish breakout. And if you look at the trend ratio, it is a very high number. So it basically tells you that the bearish forces are very dominant in this particular chart. So let me just pull up the chart, and there you go. So you had a swing breakdown, and look at the big crack in the price here. So this pattern counter table gives me a wealth of information, and just by looking at the table, I get so much insights about the underlying trend, the volatility, and the number of boxes, the strength of the bulls and bears. So it is a wonderful feature out here. So let us also probably take a look at the consolidation scenario here. Let me just randomly pick up something. So let us take a look at Asian Paints. If you notice, the range score is 43, which basically means lots of boxes are getting printed in the last four columns. But we can easily envision some kind of big columns of X and O getting printed, but some kind of a consolidation basically happening, which is why you have a very small trend ratio and the pattern is consolidation. Let us just pull up the chart. So last four columns, if you notice, the number of X and O are sort of evenly matched, and price is just confined to a narrow trading range out here.
So basically, for any instrument on any time frame, for a swing chart, we can get to know about the swing pattern, the price pattern, the 5 possibilities that we discussed, the range of the swings, last 5 swings. We get to know about the range, and in that range, what is the strength of bulls or bears?
Yes.
Now, if bullish prints are more, then there is more strength. So that's we calculate trend ratio to see what is the strength of bulls compared to total range. So if number is positive and more, that means bullish prints are more than bearish prints. If number is negative and on the higher side, bearish prints are more than bullish prints. So all this information about the price pattern we get to know in a single screen.
Yes, that is the biggest advantage of this feature. And remember, you can run the scanner on different box sizes. And if you don't know, the box size represents or it is a proxy for the time frame. So
Yes.
0.25% box size is equivalent to a daily time frame in your candlestick chart. And we can always do multi-time frame analysis. So you can run this table using a slightly bigger box size, which will be equivalent of looking at a bigger time frame. So if I use 1%, it may be a proxy for a weekly chart. So what I have done here is I have an Excel sheet out here where I have combined the scores from 0.25% and 1%. So here, if you notice, I have pulled out the trend ratio in 1% chart and the price pattern also from the 1% box size. So I have the combined result of 0.25%. So if you see here, I have the strength score, range score, and the trend ratio in 0.25%. I have the pattern in 0.25, and I also have the trend ratio and the pattern in 1%. So the basic idea here is that I want to do multi-time frame analysis, and I can look at multiple combinations here to identify candidates that suit my trading style. So let me just explain that. Before that, let me just get back to this presentation out here. So the important thing now is how do we use the pattern counter feature, isn't it? So we
Yes.
have talked about most of the points mentioned in the slide. So I don't want to spend much time in this slide. But the important thing is people who know point and figure would realize that there are so many patterns in point and figure chart, isn't it? There are at least maybe say a dozen or more patterns. And the common thing about all the patterns is that each and every pattern, you need this element of double top buy or a double bottom sell to confirm the pattern or to complete the pattern, isn't it? Whether it is a trap pattern or a broadening pattern or maybe a triple top buy, there are like as I told you, more than a dozen patterns out there, the prominent ones. But all those patterns at the end of the day is still a double top buy or a double bottom sell. So even if you don't know any of the patterns or the rules associated with the patterns or how to identify them, you can still use the pattern counter feature, and without even knowing anything about those patterns, you can still effectively trade point and figure charts. Does it make sense, Prashant?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I've just made a small matrix out here, which should be fairly straightforward. So I'm just talking about the bullish case scenario here, and obviously you can just change the rules. You can reverse them to identify bearish case opportunities. So if you're somebody whose objective is to trade momentum candidates, right? So I'm talking about the bullish momentum scenario here. So how can you go about doing this? By doing the multi-time frame analysis. So I'm just using 0.25%, which is a proxy for the daily chart, and 1%, which is a proxy for my weekly chart. So what are the combinations in terms of patterns and the trend score that I'm looking at is mentioned in this table out here. So if you're looking for a bullish momentum candidate, I can ideally look for a bullish retracement or a consolidation, or maybe a bearish breakout also in the 0.25% box size, right? And in 1%, the pattern that I'll be looking forward to is either a bullish breakout, or maybe the second choice is a bullish retracement, or maybe if I don't get too many candidates out there, I can probably just extend it to consolidation pattern in 1%. And the trend score that I'll be interested in is, because I'm looking at high momentum candidates, I want a very healthy trend score. So again, there is no hard and fast rule about what is a healthy trend score, but for the sake of objectivity, let us say that any score which is in excess of 60%, the trend score will give us the candidates where the bullish momentum criteria is satisfied. So any questions here with respect to the first aspect that we are talking about? It
Okay.
might sound as though we are looking at too many conditions out here, but once you understand the logic, it should be fairly intuitive.
So basically, we should first look at if trend ratio is more than 60%. If that is the case, then we may look at bullish retracement or consolidation or bearish breakout.
Yeah. So let me just go back to the Excel sheet where I have what I have done here is this is the raw data that I showed you, right? So I have combined the 0.25% pattern and trend score, etc., and I have also pulled in for the same set of instruments. I have pulled in the 1% relevant data. So I'm interested in just the trend ratio and the pattern in 1%. So in the next sheet, what I have done is I can choose the pattern out here. Based on my pattern selection, automatically this table will get populated. So if you recall, I talked about let us talk about bullish retracement in 0.25, and here we will talk about bullish breakout in 1%, right? So we are talking about a bullish pattern in the bigger time frame, and we are looking for candidates which are retracing in the smaller box size or in the trading time frame. So these are the candidates where these two conditions are satisfied. So we are in a bullish retracement in 0.25% box size, and the pattern is bullish breakout in the 1%. So you have the trend ratio here. Obviously, I'll be focusing on candidates where the trend ratio is really healthy. So in this case, if you notice, we have Aarti Drugs, wherein the pattern is bullish retracement in the smaller time frame, and in the bigger time frame we have a bullish breakout, but the ratio is not that very healthy in 1%, but still this is a candidate that we can probably take a look at. So Aarti Drugs here, if you notice the last four columns, there was a big breakout and price is in a pullback, which is why the pattern is a bullish retracement. And in 1%, if you notice, we have just triggered a breakout and price is in a column of X. So hope this makes sense now, isn't it? Bullish retracement because in 0.25 we are in a column of O. There was a bullish swing breakout and price is retracing. So the pattern is a bullish retracement in 0.25, whereas in 1%, if you notice, it is a bullish breakout because in 1% price is still strong. So this is the combination that I am looking at. So the trade plan will be a buy signal will be triggered when the price goes above the high of this column of X. So the buy will be triggered at 751.24. Let us take it ballpark 752, and you will put the stop loss below this swing low, which will be somewhere around say 730. So the idea here is that there is a bullish undertone, there is strong bullish momentum in the lower time frame, and in the higher time frame the context is bullish and price is in a swing breakout. And remember, we are not getting the ideal combination here. The ideal combination that I'm talking about is in 1% also the trend ratio is more than 60%. We don't have that combination here because the market is such that we are in a broad consolidation, and most of the stocks are either in a consolidation or in a minor pullback. So obviously in the bigger time frame you will not see too many candidates which are in bullish breakout and where the trend ratio is very high. So you will have to get a sense of the broad market environment and decide the scores accordingly. So what I am giving here is a broad guideline. You can obviously make some adjustments based on the current market environment and stuff like that.
So here the process is you have a good trend ratio on the higher box value, which is like weekly charts.
Yeah.
Then you have a very bullish trend ratio, which is like about 60% on 0.25%, which is like short-term daily charts.
Correct.
Then you buy at bullish retracement. Then you have a pattern of bullish retracement or maybe consolidation on 0.25% chart. And then you wait for the breakout. and then you buy
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and if you notice here, I'm not looking at bullish breakout pattern here, because if the pattern is bullish breakout, we don't have a trading opportunity there, isn't it? Because the
Correct.
price is already bullish and the breakout has already happened. So we don't
Correct.
have a fresh trade opportunity there. So which is why I'm consciously not looking at candidates where the pattern is bullish breakout in 0.25%. I hope that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can look at the second combination, which is like instead of bullish retracement, price can be in a consolidation, right? In 0.25, and the pattern in 1% can still be a breakout. So in this combination, if you notice, we still have three candidates here, but the trend ratio is not so very healthy in these three candidates. If you notice, the trend ratio is just 46% here and 29% in 1%. And Motilal Oswal OFS, it looks okay. But again, in 1%, if you notice the bullish breakout, the trend ratio is not very healthy. And Tech Mahindra, if you notice, the trend ratio is 28%, and it is minus 14%. So we don't have too many candidates or too many interesting candidates in this particular combo. The other possibility that we can think of is, this is a very interesting combination here. Let me look at candidates where there is a bearish breakout, right? And let me probably just look at in 1%. Let me look at a maybe say a bullish retracement, right? You might be wondering, what is the point of looking at a bearish breakout when we are looking at bullish opportunities, right? So let us probably take a look at some example out here. PTC, again, it's not an ideal candidate, but let us just take a look at it. So when the trend ratio is reasonably good, and when the pattern is a bearish breakout, invariably you will stumble into candidates wherein there has been a reasonably good rally and price is just in some kind of a consolidation. So though the pattern is technically bearish because there is a bearish swing breakout, a sell signal has been triggered, but if you look at the overall context, things are not looking so very bearish, isn't it? Obviously, we'll be interested in these kind of setups too. If you are looking for bullish opportunities, these are wonderful setups to trade. I hope you guys will agree with me, isn't it? So there was a big column of X, which indicates that there was a major trending move, and we are currently in a column of we are in a column of O, and there is a little bit of bearishness because a pullback has happened and a previous swing low has been broken. But when there is a column reversal and when a buy signal gets triggered, you are getting an opportunity to participate in a broader uptrend with a very, very affordable risk here. Is it clear,
Makes sense.
Prashant, or
Yeah,
do you want
makes
me to
sense.
look at?
No, this makes a lot of sense. So even if there is a bearish breakout signal, but because trend ratio is very high, that means the bullish
Yeah,
prints are more. So it is possible that this is just a short-term correction and there is an opportunity to participate.
exactly. So we can probably look at, see in this table, let us look at bearish breakout candidates, and let me try to pick out maybe something which is even more convincing. But again, given the market environment, we are not getting those kind of candidates. Wherein the ideal combination that I'm looking for is a bearish breakout, but the trend ratio is a very, very healthy positive number.
Maybe we'll find it in
So,
Nifty 500.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's right. So this is Nifty 500 universe in the Excel sheet that I have. Even here, if you notice, we have a few candidates, but I'm not getting a picture perfect kind of an example here, but that's okay. Given the market environment, we just have to live with what we have.
Yeah.
So this is another example, right? Here, if you notice again, there was a big rally, big breakout, and price is just in a pullback. So the pattern is a bearish pattern, bearish breakout. But if you look at the ratio here, it is a fairly healthy number.
In Excel sheet.
Oh yeah, sorry. So 30%, right? It's a positive number. So bigger this trend ratio, the better it is, and the pattern is sort of secondary. Ideal combination, as I told you, will be look for these kind of patterns in 0.25 and 1%, and this kind of a trend score. If you get this combination, you'll get this combination when the market undertone is extremely bullish. So if the rally that we have seen in the last couple of days, if it continues for the rest of the week, you will see this kind of a scenario playing out, wherein you will see a lot of candidates where the trend score is more than 60% in both the box sizes, and there is some kind of a bullish retracement or a consolidation happening in the smaller time frame. So the other possibility, suppose say if you don't want to chase bullish momentum, you are somebody who likes to trade or get involved in candidates where there is a breakout from a consolidation. Can you guys visualize what will be the combination out there in terms of trend score and pattern? So obviously, when we are talking about a consolidation breakout, for bullish candidates, we'll be looking at bullish breakout, isn't it? The pattern should be a no-brainer. So I'm looking at bullish breakout in as far as the pattern is concerned, right? So pattern is going to be bullish breakout, and in bigger time frame, let us just settle for bullish breakout here again. But if I'm wanting to identify candidates which are breaking out of a consolidation, what is the trend ratio that I should be focusing on? Any guesses on that? Obviously, I want to look at a relatively smaller trend ratio, isn't it? Wherein, if the trend ratio is small, it basically tells you that the bullish and the bearish camp are fairly evenly matched. But the pattern is a bullish breakout, which indicates that there has been a buy signal, but overall in the recent past, in the last 4 columns, the number of bullish and bearish prints are fairly evenly matched. So let us look at some examples out here. Maybe let us take a look at Ambuja Cements, right? Wherein if you notice, the pattern is a bullish breakout, but if you look at the trend score, it is a very small number. So let us just open up Ambuja Cement chart here. So you can clearly see this, right? In the last 4 columns, so column number 1, 2, 3, and 4, there was a consolidation, and finally price has managed to trigger a breakout. And how do I identify these candidates? The combination is the pattern should be bullish breakout, and the trend ratio that I'm looking forward to is a very small positive or a negative number. Even a negative number is good enough, doesn't matter, but the pattern should be a bullish breakout. So let us take a look at some other example. Maybe Shriram Transport Finance. The same deal here, right? You have a consolidation last 4 columns, column number 1, 2, 3, and 4. There is a consolidation, and the pattern is bullish breakout because we have a swing breakout, and our objective is achieved here, isn't it? If you recall, our objective is to identify consolidation breakout candidates. So the pattern I'm looking forward to in 0.25 is a bullish breakout, and of course in 1% I can choose any combination. It doesn't really matter. Our primary focus here is to identify candidates that are breaking out of some kind of a consolidation pattern.
So here the principle is on a higher time frame there is some kind of trend. So there is a trend ratio is high, and on a lower time frame it is in a consolidation mode where number of X and O's or bullish prints or bearish prints are almost equal in size.
Yeah, evenly matched. Yeah, sort of evenly matched.
Yes.
So that is why I'm giving a trend ratio range of -10 to +10. So the negative trend ratio doesn't really matter because we have had the emphasis here is on the breakout, the bullish breakout pattern. So a bullish swing breakout has happened, and obviously if it is a negative, say 8%, it basically means the bearish camp is slightly dominant, but the bullish camp is recovering ground, which is why you have a swing breakout, a bullish breakout pattern. So I think it should be fairly clear, isn't it? -10 to +10 is the ideal ratio that I'll be looking at. And in the 1%, I want the trend ratio to be really healthy, northwards of 40%, so that I know that in the bigger time frame, price is in a strong uptrend, and in the smaller time frame, we are just breaking out of a consolidation.
Yeah.
So the third possibility is people who know point and figure chart, they will realize what an anchor column is and what is a triangle pattern or a ABC pattern. So
for people who don't know much about point and figure, it is a strong momentum followed by a breakout.
Yeah, so if you look at this chart, this is the strong momentum that we are talking about, isn't it? Very extraordinarily long column of X or O indicates that there is a strong momentum and trend in price. So in this example, Shriram Transport, this is a very long column of X, which indicates that there has been a strong bullish momentum. And after that, if you notice, price has been consolidating within the boundaries of this column of X. And after that, typically what happens is this is a swing, this is a retracement, and then the trend resumes.
Yes.
So these kind of patterns can also be identified using pattern counter, and we will be using this kind of a combination in terms of pattern and trend ratio. So if you look at this combination, you can identify candidates wherein price has been probably consolidating, and maybe it is getting ready for a big breakout. So in this case, what has happened is the trending move resumed after a prolonged consolidation. There are a lot of instances where you will see that there will be a strong column of X or O, maybe one or two columns after this anchor column. Anchor column is nothing but a very long column of X or O. So after this anchor column, typically in a strong market, price will print 2 or 3 columns thereafter, which will indicate consolidation, and then you will see a resumption of the prior trend. So that particular scenario can be easily captured using this combination out here, wherein we are talking about the pattern being a bearish breakout or maybe a consolidation. And in 1%, we can look at any of this combination out here, but the trend ratio should be really healthy, above 50% in both box sizes. So if you get this kind of a combination, this will ideally indicate candidates which are in a slight pullback, but the undertone is extremely positive. So let us see if we have any such examples out here. So I'm looking for a bearish breakout as a condition here. Let me see. Okay, you have Ajanta Pharma, wherein the pattern is bearish breakout. The trend ratio is really not really healthy for our liking, but let us take a look at the chart. So this is not a really strong anchor column, but we can still call this an anchor column. We have 20 boxes printed here. So for all practical purposes, this will be a strong trending move. And if you notice, price is pulling back. Can you see that we are in a consolidation out here? So if there is a breakout above this high of this column of X, which will happen on a close above 1814, you will get a swing breakout. A buy signal will be triggered, and that could probably signal the start of the next uptrending move. So using this combination that I talked about in the slide, you can easily identify candidates which have been in a strong trend, but that has been consolidating recently. Obviously, we don't have too many examples now because, as I told you, the market environment is
otherwise also this kind of combination will not be very common, but it is very interesting in a way, because this is you are actually looking at a bearish breakout. That means out of 4 swing, the 2 O's that we are talking about has given a kind of double bottom sell signal.
Correct.
Because the trend ratio is high, that obviously means that first column has got a long column, is a long column of X.
Exactly.
So
if you recall the PTC example, If you recall the PTC example that we talked about, right?
Yeah.
That is by far the best example that we have.
Right.
So you have this big breakout, and price is consolidating, and pattern wise, if you notice, we have just about triggered a sell signal. So the pattern will be a bearish breakout, but the trend ratio will be a very healthy number in this case.
Yeah.
Why will it be a healthy number? Because if you count the total number of X minus O, this column of X is so very long that the trend ratio is going to be a very, very healthy number.
Yeah.
Right.
So instead of waiting for the breakout, double top buy, can we buy with the stop loss of moving average or something like that? And the pullback.
Yeah, you can do that. Again, it depends on the sector and the stock, what it has been doing earlier. So in this case, I wouldn't mind doing that. But in a way, you are preempting something here, isn't it? Ideally, what I would do from a trading perspective is I will wait for some kind of bullishness to happen in this chart. Maybe I'll just, if I want to be aggressive, I will wait for a column reversal. At least a column reversal, and maybe use the moving average as a stop loss in that case. Or better still, wait for a proper breakout to happen, a buy signal to be triggered. So either which way, your stop loss is very affordable. So if you are somebody who is primarily driven by FOMO, fear of missing out moves, then you can just go ahead and buy the stock and use your moving average as a stop loss. But ideally, I would not recommend that. So you can use the same logic out here and come up with bearish candidates also. So your patterns will be just ulta of what is mentioned here. So you'll be looking for bearish retracement, consolidation, or bearish breakout, and minus 60. So it is just a mirror image of the bullish environment that I'm talking about here. So what I'm trying to convey here is, without even knowing about the various patterns and the rules associated with identifying them, you can simply pick and choose the candidates based on your trading style using the combination of patterns and the trend score. So that is the broader message that I wanted to convey using this particular table out here.
No, this is a very good matrix. Actually, you made it very objective in terms of, from trading perspective. So that one thing is understanding the tool, what it actually shows, and then second part is how do we trade, how do we implement, how do we trade using that particular tool. So these 3 points are that makes it very objective actually. And you have used higher time frame also. So what we will do is that we will make the tool for multi-time frame pattern counter also, so that people can do it in the trade point itself. And because what happens is when we design tools, actually basically you took it further. You added many points. When I was thinking about this, when we were building this tool, the idea was if a range is high, if a stock range or trend ratio is high, even the correction, the consolidation, or even if it is a bearish breakout, it's an opportunity. It is a pullback opportunity. So you covered it in the first point itself.
Right.
And the second point is just to when range is very small, what was noticed is in a particular swing, when bullish prints and bearish prints are equal. Now we were discussing that if we can go back to that Coal India chart.
Yes, I'll do that.
Yeah. So now see this is exactly actually the pattern counter is kind of reverse engineering process of what we look at the chart. So before the strong anchor column, see the previous 4 swings.
Correct.
So number of X and O's are almost equal.
Yeah.
The trend ratio would be marginal. It would be plus minus, but the before this anchor column, these 4. Yeah. So here the almost X and O. Yeah. So it's a consolidation pattern. The trend ratio would be almost, it will be near 0.
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what we get to know is there is a strong consolidation which is happening. See, it is point and figure chart. This is happening over multiple sessions. It is not just last 4 sessions.
Correct.
So after this, typically what happens is we get a strong trend. That's the idea. So that could be one of the points which I think you covered in the second point also. That when there is a consolidation or when the trend ratio is between -10 to +10.
Correct.
Then if you get bullish breakout or the bearish breakout on the after that, so that could be a good that could be a possibility that you'll get a good trend.
Exactly.
Actually, another example is Hindustan Lever that we were discussing. No. So see this before this strong anchor column.
Yeah, in these 4
columns. 4 columns. Yeah.
Correct.
So it is almost like it is a bullish retracement pattern, but basically the trend ratio is almost the X and O's are equal. I mean, I haven't seen the count, but it is we can see that it
should be equal.
The principle is there. Basically, when the X and O's are equal, then it is possible that you will get a good trend, and then we can use that double bottom and trade it.
And the other thing is, even if you had missed out this rally, what is likely to happen is obviously price is going to consolidate, isn't it? It's not going to run away in unidirectionally. So what will happen is if there are 3 more columns getting printed, obviously you will the pattern will turn into a consolidation and the trend ratio will be a very big number. So obviously this will automatically come into your radar using the parameters that we discuss here. Right.
Correct.
So it will get into this. It will fit into the first slot sooner or later. If this trend and momentum continues, and if there is a shallow retracement, so the pattern will turn into a consolidation or maybe even a bearish breakout. But the trend ratio will be a very, very healthy number. So once you have that those kind of candidates in your watch list, whenever you get the next breakout, you can just participate in that.
Correct.
So what I have done here, Prashant, I'll just briefly explain what this Excel sheet is all about. It is very simple. If I can do this with almost LKG kind of Excel knowledge, anyone can replicate it. So I've just used the filter function out here, right? And I have sorted it in the descending order. So I've just used the filter function to filter out candidates, and I'm choosing if you notice, I just have a drop-down menu. I have listed all the 5 different patterns that we discussed in the slide. So this is for 0.25% and 1%. So depending upon the pattern that I choose here in the 2 box sizes, this table will get auto-populated. That's it. So in TradePoint, if you go to the pattern counter feature, you have the facility to export the data. Click on view report, you can export it, save this output as a CSV file. So what I did was I took the group as Nifty 500 and I ran the scanner twice. The first one I used 0.25% boxes and the second time I used 1%. Took both the files to Excel and I have just merged them. That's it. So that merge table is the combined sheet wherein it has the data of 0.25 and 1%. And this one, I'm just using the filter function to pull in the relevant data. That's it. It's fairly simple. It should take hardly 2 minutes of your Excel time to get this or accomplish this. But I'm sure Prashant will incorporate this as a feature in TradePoint very soon.
Yes. So,
that is basically it.
Sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm practically done with my presentation, Prashant.
Yeah, so I think we discussed all aspects related to it. Actually, interestingly, this tool, when how it came in mind was, I was looking at a video of music. When the video was about someone was playing tabla. And he was talking about Guru and Laghu. So so the idea was, okay, then Guru can be impulse and Laghu can be corrective in market.
Yeah.
So basically for us, the bullish prints are like Guru, and when in strong trend the O's are Laghu. So that kind of, so that was the basic thing. But here, almost all patterns, swing patterns are we are trying to accommodate in this tool. So basically, this tool can be useful to someone who is not really very much, he doesn't know much about point and figure, or he is not using point and figure at all. Can he not just find the candidates using these things and trade some other system based on candlestick, maybe on
Yes.
those instruments?
Absolutely, because you are getting information about the strength of the trend and the pattern, and you can use any combination of indicators or any other charting method that you're comfortable with. You can use this pattern counter only to identify candidates, and the execution part you can probably choose your own method. You can use anything, maybe your favorite indicator or anything else, or probably you can go to maybe intraday candlestick chart and look for a moving average crossover there and initiate the trade. Anything. Again, the possibilities are endless. So it's up to your creativity. And the other thing, Prashant, what I've done here is a multi-time frame analysis. In fact, if you don't want to get into this junket of pulling data into Excel and doing multi-time frame analysis, you can still trade using the pattern counter with one box size. What I'm trying to say here is just this table alone is good enough to pick out candidates. That is still good enough. So what that basically means is just ignore this portion 1% here. Similarly, ignore this here. Using the pattern and the preferred trend score in 0.25%, you can use the conditions mentioned here and still identify candidates and trade your method. It is still doable. What I'm doing here is one extra step in terms of doing multi-time frame analysis. That's it.
Yes. Makes sense. Why I talked about candlestick based trading based on candlestick also using this tool, because at times this is a very beautiful and logical tool, but there can be a mind block that I don't understand point and figure or I'm not comfortable with, which is okay. But P&F is just a tool, because we cannot design these on candlestick or other charting method. We are using properties of point and figure and creating this tool. But this is very useful from trading perspective. That mind block should not be there. You can simply ignore, but you can use it for any other charting method.
In fact, something like a pattern counter makes sense only in point and figure chart because of the unique properties of a point and figure chart. It is a wonderful tool, and kudos to the team for having come up with such a brilliant feature.
Yeah. So I think we have discussed all important aspects about this tool. So I think it was a great presentation, and thank you for explaining it in detail.
Thanks a lot, Prashant, for giving me this opportunity. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.